It's practice here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and the GOAT has posted the fastest time so far. Taking a look at his averages, about 29.3, 29.4. So he is showing some very good pace there. There's Colin Cropley in front of him. He only has the 23rd fastest lap so far. And, he should be lucky that the GOAT didn't decide to punt him out of the way once again. That's the GOAT a little bit tight through turn 4 there. That's him into the wall. His right front is clearly wearing out a bit. Colin Cropley takes him out. Andy Thomas gets bunched up. Shadowald collected. The GOAT spinning wildly down the front stretch, as usual. Well, it's a good thing that he didn't manage to hit anybody, and that's Eli Wolf just nudging him on the rear end, because the GOAT is massively in the way. What a dummy. Hello everyone, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Bass Pro Shops 500. I think that sounds correct to me. 82 laps around this. Maybe I should do the research before I start these videos. 1.5 mile quad oval, unless it's 2 miles. I forget. Just doing the basic math here. Yep, that sounds about right. 82 times 4 is, crikey. 332, yes, that sounds about right. I think the actual race is 337 laps. Anyways, okay. So, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Front row lockout for the Jasper Motorsports cars today. So we've got Joey Trickle on pole, alongside Gil Samaya in the number 77. Second row, we've got Samit Özkan and Steve Morgan. We got Daniel Voiles, Eric Monaco. We got Christian Bracken, Reggie Fogelman, Dylan Abrahamian, Chris Harvey, Matthew Burnett, Montero Salin. And we got Lego, we got Smith, we've got the GOAT, we've got PK, Tyke, Wells, Evans, Cropley, Wolf, Davis, Austin, Charlebois, Jenkins, Whitlock, Allen, Hicks, Zane, Johnson, Shadowald, your Daytona 500 winner, Flobo, Thomas, Jana Fogelman, Spurley, Langostine, Franco Sato, and rounding out the field, Brittany White and Gerald Pepper. So, 82 laps today. I just want to say this was one of the most fun races I've ever done. I had an absolute blast. I really felt the sense of speed. Yeah, driving this race was a very enjoyable gaming experience, just in general. Yeah, I guess I'm getting all emotional and sentimental before this race. Don't quite know why, but yeah, it's crazy to think. Yeah, this game's 20 years old. Half-Life 2 is almost 20 years old, and that's always a very fun game to come back to and play. Probably still don't even know everything about it. I feel like there was a time when I went back to the game and I discovered the secret that I'd not even been aware of. My first time playing and that's Annie Thomas out of the pacing line and on the apron. So something's gone wrong with that number 15 car there, because it appears that Thomas is attempting to return to the pits. It's a bit concerning at the start. Of course, Thomas was meant to start in something's position today, near the back of the field, I believe, but she's out of position now. Meanwhile, everything looks ready to go with Joey Trickle and Gil Samaya on the other hand. Green flag is out. We're underway. That's an excellent start from Trickle on the inside line. Özkan following very closely behind. Yeah, once again, talking about inside and outside lines at these tracks during these races so far. That's not working out quite well for Gil Samaya, that outside line. He's falling back to third. Things already seeming to line up here. Here's the GOAT. Started P15. Already up to 11th, it looks like. So he's had an excellent start. Samet Özkan on the inside now, challenging for the race lead. We saw Annie Thomas exiting the pit lane there. So she's already going to be a lap down. That's not going to do wonders for her hopes of winning this race. Obviously, Özkan has high hopes, but so do Trickle, your pole sitter, Samaya, and, well, how about Voiles and Morgan, who are up at the top of the field here. These 5 cars here, your top 5 thus far. Özkan looking like he didn't have a very good run that last lap, the last 2 turns there, and he's fallen behind. Now under pressure from Voiles, Trickle has a little bit of breathing space here. Morgan passing Samaya on the inside through turn 1 there, so not the best of starts for Gil Samaya, who started second, but I think he'll have plenty of time to make up those positions, of course. Again, seems like things are already filing up here so far. There it is. There's a GOAT still running 11th. He's got Wolf and PK, this 2-car team that was working well together in the previous race. Wolf trying to make a move on the inside. Can he make it stick? The GOAT showing excellent pace on the outside line, defending the position here. Voiles to the inside down the back stretch to challenge, oh, maybe not. No, we're talking about Morgan and Samaya. These two still digging it out for 4th place here. Özkan holds 2nd spot for now. Samaya, meanwhile, trying to retake 4th position. Seems that the GOAT's managed to get past Ebrahimian, and he's passing Harvey on the outside down the back stretch. Excellent move there. Still fighting these two, Samaya, Morgan, for 4th position. Looks like Samaya's going to be able to clasp it back here. Özkan, I think, catching up slightly to Trickle. I think that the little vacuum of air is keeping him glued to the rear bumper of that number 67 car. Morgan back down to 5th now. GOAT possibly challenging the 2 Evernham cars here, the 9 and the 19. He's got very good pace numbers. Let's go on board with the GOAT here, and hopefully this view will allow you to appreciate just how bumpy this car is. GOAT bottoming out slightly here. There's Bracken right in front. So close, nearly making contact. On the front stretch there, good stuff there. Both Evernham cars are going to make it 3 wide through turn 1 here. The GOAT has an excellent view of this action here. Fogelman trying to defend his position from the 2 Evernham cars, almost 4 wide. The GOAT inserting himself into the action here. How are things up front? It's 3 wide almost with the leaders. Özkan trying to take the lead now, and I think he's going to manage it. Can Voiles snatch 2nd place from Joey Trickle here? I noticed when I was watching especially the intro of the previous race, it seemed as if I was not being very emotive. In fact, it kind of sounds like I'm either sick or even about to tear up. And, well, to be honest, it's kind of just because I have to keep quiet, sort of, so as not to embarrass myself in front of my family while recording these races. Always something that gets in the way of the action and entertainment, but As you can see, Sam Özkan now leads this race. Gonna get that extra 5 points for that lap there. Trickle not having any of that though. He wants to take that position back. Samaya looking at third from Voiles. Morgan following closely behind. The Goats managed to get by Eric Monaco in the meantime. Trickle retakes the lead down the back straight. Good show there. Voiles looking a little bit unsettled there as he slides up high through turns 3 and 4. He's going to fall back into 4th position and be under pressure from Morgan. Bracken having a look. Morgan leaving the door open slightly through turn 1 and 2. Özkan once again on the inside. Inside is where people have been passing all over to show Samayev supporting his teammate. Trickle on the outside. Doesn't look like that's doing wonders for Trickle though, as Özkan retakes the lead. Only 1/8 of the distance through this race, and we've already had only 2 leaders, but many lead changes definitely. Samaya now in 2nd position here. Trickle not having a good time on that outside line. The Goats managed to get by Bracken, and now he's looking at Steve Morgan. Through turn 3 there, he clearly wanted to make the move, but I don't think he was carrying quite enough pace. Samaya is carrying plenty of pace here. Neck and neck, but he has the inside, and I think he has a much better run through turn 1. Now he's going to scoop up the lead from Özkan, it looks like. A Goat getting past Morgan on the outside. Can he beat Voiles as well? Almost looking like it. Meanwhile, Trickle trying to get past Özkan as well. Make it a 1-2 for Jasper once again. And yep, that's the Goat up successfully into 4th spot, so good stuff from him there. He's going to have a very good view of this action. Trickle still scored his 3rd. You hear the Goat's tires squealing there. He's really pushing it there. Ooh, a little bit loose off of turn 4 there, and now he's looking like falling victim to Voiles once more. Bracken again inserting herself into the mix. Monaco close behind. Goat's definitely falling behind a bit, but he's managed to hold position. Can Özkan do the same here through turn 1? Into 2, still holding 2nd place from the outside. Voiles diving to the inside on the back stretch. Going to challenge for 4th spot again with help from Morgan. Goat still showing excellent pace. Not in too much danger that time round. Dipping onto the apron briefly there. See the car wiggling through turns 1 and 2. Joey Trickle still unable to get past Özkan for now. We'll have the briefest look at your race leaders. Frank Kupris left a comment stating that I should have left these positions up here instead of the fastest lap, which are up for a very long time. As you can see, the Goat has the fastest lap so far. Then there's Bracken and Özkan, who's just lost 3rd spot to Trickle finally. And then there's Voiles, Samaya, your race leader, Trickle, Charlebois, Taiki, Monaco, and Morgan. See, those laps, these top 10 lap times are within 0.2 of another. So you can see that everybody's performing excellently today. People seem for the most part quite evenly matched. This Evernham 2-car tandem here, trying to get past Steve Morgan for 6th position. Yeah, you can see your top 10 positions here. Of course, they don't update until everybody crosses the line for a lap, but we can run through your order real fast here. We've got Samaya in the lead, Trickle, Özkan, Goat, and Voiles in the top 5. Morgan, Bracken, Monaco, Fogelman, Reggie Fogelman, and Eli Wolf riding out the top 10. Wolf looking like passing his teammate on the inside. We've got Harvey, PK, Taiki, Lego, Smith, Austin, Charlebois, Cropley, Abrahamian, and Flobo. The rest of your top 20. The 2 Jasper Motorsports cars trying to create a gap between themselves and Özkan. Özkan is not going to give up his lead so easily. I mean, he has done He's still going to be challenging for it all the way to the end of this race. Is that Sony Vega? Perhaps I should try using that editing software. The GOAT on the outside. Again, showing very good pace there. His last lap was 7/10 off of his best. I think it was kind of a slightly faster one. S.p.A trickled a bit slower that time. Nothing too noticeable now, but have a look at these lap times here as they cross the line, as it looks like Trickle wants to take the lead back. Similar times. Yep, even for the GOAT as well. 3 wide through turn 2. It was kind of the 2 Jasper Motorsports cars. Again, normally I'd be much more emotive about this, but I'm embarrassed. 3 wide once again. The GOAT manages to take 2 positions through turns 2 and through 3 and 4. Speaking excellently today. We're at the quarter-way point through this race there. S.p.A not looking like wanting to let seconds slip away from his grasp so quickly, but looks like what's going on here. S.p.A not having the best of times. He's under pressure from Voiles and Morgan, whom you may have almost forgot were challenging for the race lead just a moment ago. Bracken seems to have fallen behind. Wolf has passed both Fogelman and Monaco. That's how things look with your top 10 here. S.p.A with more pace down the front stretch, zooming past the GOAT. Nose in front through turn 1. Again, the GOAT's tires squealing like mad there. Looks like S.p.A is going to make the position stick for now. But again, the GOAT's not going to want to give that place up so easily. Manages to get by on the outside again. That must be destroying the tires. Voiles is past S.p.A now as they go to the line. S.p.A again faster than the GOAT on the front stretch. Joey Trickle, this might seem like well, good for him because well, these guys are fighting each other. They're slowing each other down, but don't think he can be entirely confident of that at present here. Looks like the GOAT is trying to learn from the previous laps. Cover up the inside. Bobbing and weaving again onto the apron. Don't think that's done him wonders there because S.p.A and Voiles is looking very likely to challenge once again for second spot here. Things seem to have lined up quite a bit. We'll very briefly take a look at the other positions, try to run it down, you know, broadcast style. There you go. Hope that's decent. If I could do that more consistently, that would be nice, but I gotta focus on the action on track here. S.p.A wants 4th place back. Voiles is stuck on the outside. I think he's looking like shipping positions to both S.p.A and Morgan, although Morgan wants to make a move on S.p.A here for 5th spot position. Yeah, the vocabulary as well is an issue here. I'm already taxing the vocabulary here, I feel like. There's Gerald Pepper, who's running 39th, so he's just been lapped. S.p.A again looking at recapturing 2nd place. There you go, recapturing. How about that? You like that word? I always thought capture was a weird word. Apparently caption isn't. S.p.A getting held up by Pepper. Even Wolf's going to be able to get through, so he's definitely not going to be pleased with this number 83 driver. It was almost 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds off the pace. Guess Monaco wasn't having the best of times either, because he's all the way back in 9th now. Reggie Fogelman's still in 10th here. Christian Bracken looking like getting a move done on Voiles. She has to fend off Eli Wolf. The GOAT's still in front of S.p.A here. You might not find this exciting, but when I was doing this race, when I was driving this race, I most certainly did find it exciting. The GOAT bottoming out through turns 1 and 2. So right on board with S.p.A. See just what we're looking at here from the GOAT, bobbing and weaving down the back stretch. See, he's getting closer and closer to Trickle here, so Trickle's lead is not exactly a surefire thing thus far. See, in the distance, I believe that's Jana Fogelman, or perhaps Harry Langestein. Appreciate that S.p.A has a little bit of a gap between himself and the car in 4th place, Steve Morgan. I think the GOAT's breaking away from S.p.A though. Again, we'll see who has most pace. You can see S.p.A already at 189, while the GOAT only at 187 up the front stretch. So S.p.A catching up on the straights, but the GOAT looking better in the corners, it seems. That's very initial D of him, of course. GOAT having a look, diving down to the inside in turn 3 here. Ooh, bit of contact with Joey Trickle. Could almost be 3 wide. The GOAT's car is, yeah, it's like a slinky. There you go. It's like a slinky. GOAT briefly has the lead there, and he's looking unsettled, sliding up to the outside line there into the wall, and then diving down to the inside. He's lost a lot of speed there. Got a little bit too scared, I suppose, and now he has to fend off Morgan and Voiles, or at the very least slow them up. S.p.A taking advantage of the kerfuffle to take the lead from his opponent and teammate, more specifically. That's what I meant to say. Both those things, I suppose, are still true. That's Jana Fogelman, as I said before, and there's Harry Langestein. Okay. Joey Trickle once again back down to 2nd spot here. The GOAT maintaining 3rd. Under a lot of pressure, obviously, from Steve Morgan. Daniel Voiles still running 5th. Christian Bracken still in 6th. Özkan all the way back down to 7th, which is unfortunate for him. Eli Wolf's in 8th. Eric Monaco still running 9th. And Reggie Fogelman still in 10th. Looking here. 11th is Harvey. 12th is Taiki. 13th is PK. There are Futlego, Smith, Charbois, Cropley, Austin, Flobo, and Ebrahimian, your top 20. Ebrahimian's teammate Jana Fogelman being lapped by the 2 Jasper Motorsports cars. Those Jasper engines really doing their work today, I tell you. Slowly but surely, we're approaching the halfway point here. GOAT lapping Fogelman, those tires still screaming. They were enemies in a average Let's Play of The Witcher or something. Yeah, I don't know my video games. You think I know my video games? Please. Seems like Christian Bracken fell back to 7th spot. Özkan probably taking advantage of Jana Fogelman holding up the lead cars here. Trickle wants that lead back. Excellent fighting between the 2 Jasper Motorsports cars today. Definitely don't want to go full 2016 Spanish Grand Prix. The 2 teammates taking each other out of the race. That would be no good. No good at all. Well, yep, Trickle leads lap 36. On to lap 37 now. Oh, and I forgot to file through everybody else here. Ebrahimian down to 21st. There's Jenkins, Wells, Zane, Davis, Schadewald, Franco, Burnett, Hicks, Whitlock. There are Sato, Johnson, Evans, Salin, White, Allen, Langestein. And then 1 lap down you have Fogelman, Thomas, and Pepper. So apparently at some point Annie Thomas was able to get past Gerald Pepper. Maybe he's pitted, not sure what that's about. He's about to get lapped by Mo Zane in 24th position, which gives you an idea of how off the pace poor Pepper is. Annie Thomas is able to get past despite obviously starting much later than the rest of the field effectively, because some problem of some sort forced her back into the pits before the green flag. Goes still in 3rd spot there, but I don't think he's demonstrating the pace that we saw earlier as he made his way up the field from 15th starting position. So as I've been as I've been alluding to this whole time, it's the tires. The tires really are wearing out and beginning to fall off. 30.7, 30.6. I mean, let's take a look at my lap times. Yeah. 30.3, 30.5, 31.3, 30.3, 30.5. I'm still trying my hardest, but I mean, when I was lapping under 30 seconds at the beginning of this race, I was obviously having a much more fun time. And now the effect is wearing off, just like my tires. Sad. Unfortunate. Trickle still comfortably in the lead for now, coming up on Harry Langestein in 37th place. Langestein files in front of Trickle there. I don't think he's going to be very pleased with that. He has to contend with Allen and White, who are running side by side down the back stretch. S.p.A taking advantage to the inside. Langestein blocks him off. Trickle has a clear line on the outside now. And here comes the GOAT. He's managed to slow both of the Jasper Motorsports cars down. Langestein has. And now the GOAT's looking back in contention for the race lead. S.p.A beats Trickle to the line. He's going to get held up by Allen and White. The GOAT on the outside, about to make it 3 wide. Trickle and Langestein. Langestein gets passed by Trickle. Gets passed. Yeah, that, you know, not great when you're, yeah. Passive voice. Avoid the passive voice, my friends. S.p.A and Trickle, the top 2 in this race, both being blocked off by lapped cars here. And the GOAT trying to take advantage of the position. Look at the pace. He's nudging S.p.A on the rear end, making it 3 wide. Is he going to chicken out? I think he has. I think he's chickened out for now. And look at Morgan right behind him. He has to move to the inside to block up Özkan. Özkan coming out of nowhere. He was down in 7th a moment ago, but now he's back up to, is that 4th or 5th? Fighting for 4th, certainly. He's managed to get by Morgan. And S.p.A having the worst of this action so far. He's lost the lead once again to Joey Trickle. Now has a clear spot in front of him. Özkan managing to get by the GOAT here. Getting trapped on the inside again by Joe Allen, who I thought was my friend, but is currently betraying me. Hey Joe, what you doing? You're ruining my race, I tell you. Not cool, dude. So, Özkan back up to 2nd spot now. Yeah, remember when he was in 2nd position a while ago? I bet you do. Go blocking off Morgan here, but Morgan, I think he has a better exit. Out of turn 4 there. Almost beating the GOAT to the line. Doesn't quite have the pace for it. Look at Voiles. Can't count him out of this action so far. Allen now holding up Bracken. Voiles trying to make a move on Steve Morgan. And there's another guy you probably forgot about already, Eli Wolf, unless, of course, you are Eli Wolf. S.p.A again having the worst of it. Could even be under pressure from Christian Bracken now. Starting lap 46 here. Trickle comfortably in the lead. Özkan in his rearview mirror once again. Perhaps he's not too pleased about that. And there are Morgan, Voiles, Wolf, S.p.A, Bracken, then Monaco and Taiki. Taiki's managed to get by Reggie Fogelman and Anastasio Piquet. Could also do the same here. It's right on board of the GOAT, who's now lapping under 31 seconds. Again, demonstrating how much his pace has fallen off, but Trickle and Özkan, you can say the same about them, slightly faster. Actually, these guys are running with about the same pace at present, aren't they? Again, we'll cycle to the field, see if you can find yourself in this mix. Morgan to the inside, down the front straight. Side by side once again, the two black GM Goodwrench Chevy Monte Carlos. Had a decent fight in Rockingham, but of course the 29 piloted by Sevillo that time. Then in Las Vegas, Morgan doing an excellent job in that same car, but the GOAT absolutely dominating, so that wasn't for much, was it? Wolf's managed to get by Voiles now. S.p.A back in the clack. I keep saying that, back in the clack, almost making it 3 wide. Definitely looked like he wanted to there. So that's your battle for 5th right there. Wolf, Voiles, and Samaya. Bracken's close behind. Morgan again trying to make a move on the goat on the inside through the back straight. Goat just not having any of that. Again, not as good a run. Contact. Now in the front straight. Contact again. Morgan goes into the wall. Oh shit. I'm getting demonetized. Caution is out. And Steve Morgan's, yeah. Ouch. That was smart. Yeah, sorry, Steve. I completely ruined your race there. So, caution's out on lap 50. Let's have a look at the replay. We're right on board with one GM Goodwrench car fighting another down the front stretch here. Hard impact to the wall there, and I think that completely killed the engine. No recovering from that, I don't think. Go on board with the goat here. I mean, you have to see if that really was just rubbing and racing, banging and bumping. Yeah, I don't really think you could say the goat was holding his line there. I guess he probably just assumed that that he had more space on this side for Morgan's car. Of course, the goat suffering from a decent spat of damage himself in that incident there, but yep, Steve Morgan's race is over. Not great. Racing back to the caution, obviously. I think the goat might get passed by Voiles here. See, get past means two different things. If you don't use by, you understand. Yeah, the goat's definitely slowed down here. A bit of damage, possibly to the engine. Will Voiles beat him to the line? I think he has. And those two make contact as well. The goat scraping the outside wall. Fortunately, that was the least of his worries. That could have also been quite a disaster, as Morgan might attest. Yeah. Morgan's race is over. There he is in the pits. I don't think he's going to be the least bit pleased with his fellow GM Goodwrench Chevy driver here, who's making an ass out of himself, trying to get onto the apron to make a pit stop. Another race where fuel stop is mandatory. But yeah, those tires definitely heavily worn, so I think the goat is going to be really pleased to get those fresh tires here. Perhaps he may actually feel a little bit guilty about sending his teammate Steve Morgan into the wall. You'd think that he'd show him a little bit more sympathy, considering that he completely forgot to put him in the right car at the beginning of the season. So Morgan missed out on the Daytona 500 and Subway 400? What's it called? Is that really what it's called? Yeah. Let's take a look at the goat here. Yeah, preparing the damage on that car. Let's take a look at your race off pit road here. Trickle managed to get out in front of Özkan again. Voyle is in third. Wolf comes out fourth, I think. Then there's Bracken, Taiki, Samaya, PK, Fogelman, Harvey, Charbois, Smith, Spurley, Lego and Flobo, then Cropley, Austin, Jenkins, Ebrahimian, Zane, Wells. Why do I feel like I'm reading off the list of names of the reindeer now? Alberto Franco. So I think that Spurley, Smith, and Shawwell were the biggest winners there. Samaya definitely not. Oh, I stand corrected. He came out in 5th spot. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, where is the goat? The goat is coming back onto the pits here because he spun, exiting, and he's going to want to change his right side tires again. Good for him. So, yep, that's that. Lap 54. The lights are out on the pace car, so when we restart, Joey Trickle will be leaving the field. He'll be followed by Samit Özkan, Daniel Voiles, Eli Wolf, and Gil Samaya. Then Christian Bracken, Aru Taiki, Estacio PK. car's getting in the way. Reggie Fogelman and Chris Harvey, your top 10. Then there will be Charlebois, Smith, Spurley, Lego, Flobo, Cropley, Austin, Jenkins, Ebrahimian, and Zane to round out your top 20. Wells, Franco, Shadowball, Davis, Sato, Hicks, Monaco, Burnett, Johnson, Evans, Whitlock, and Salin. Monaco, the biggest loser there. Of course, he was running up at the top of the field, but evidently did not have a good pit stop, so he's going to find himself near the back. The Goat's going to find himself at the back of the longest line. Not through any penalty, but just because he had to pit twice. And on that first pit stop anyways, he came out pretty far back in the field because he had to repair the damage to his car. Steve Morgan unable to do the same, and so he's no longer in the race. In fact, he's in the infield care center right now. Oof. You can see Allen, White, Langestein, Jana Fogelman, Gerald Pepper, and Annie Thomas on the inside row. As we go back to green on lap 55 in Atlanta, is Allen showing pace? Will he hold up the leaders in front of him? Trickle immediately moves to block him off, forcing Özkan around the outside, but Özkan having no problem getting past the slower car of Joe Allen. Can we say the same about Voiles, Samaya and company? Wolf and Bracken, PK and Harvey. Again, am I reading off the list of the names of reindeer here? Why do I keep saying the list? I want to say the names of the reindeer, but I keep saying the lists, the listises, as if there are multiple lists of reindeer. I mean, they're all the reindeer who were, absolute jerks to Rudolph, apparently. I don't know. Maybe in hindsight, Rudolph really does just suck. I'll tell you, he doesn't suck, though. Joey Trickle leading this race. Simon Özkan probably doesn't suck either, because he has been jostling with him for the lead of this race for a lot of the contest so far here. Of course, he fell back a while before the caution, but now he's like the what's the I gotta go with the inspectors that I got a line here. Yeah, but I mean, I completely forget. Just gonna check. Checking Discord here, like all the modern college students of my time. Daniel Voyle is up in third now. That's what it looks like. I think these guys have managed to clear the lapped cars, I say, as we witness Harry Langestein being a thorn in Gil Samaya's side, or perhaps more like a wooden beam in his eye because he can't get past him. Christian Bracken in front of Eli Wolf here. There's Reggie Fogelman. I believe R.U. Tykes managed to pass Anthony Charlebois successfully for position 8. Patrick Smith, Bob and Flobo, and Riley Spurley fighting for 10th position here. Smith currently occupies it right now. Flobo and Spurley, who I always confuse for each other when I see them. These guys have very similar paint schemes, and they might not look like it, but every time I see blue, white, and red car in the distance, I'm definitely not looking at Fred Jones. I'm looking at either Spurley or Flobo here. PK behind, having to contend with Lyle Austin and Sabrina Futlego. There's Mo Zane, Mathis Wells. Eric Monaco's managed to make his way all the way up to 18th so far, clearly having little issue getting past some slower cars in his way. Shot of all to Jenkins with a Leroy Jenkins move on Amy Hicks. Look at the 3 Chip Ganassi cars driving close together. Outside the top 20, here's the GOAT getting past Chris Harvey. Remember, he started last on the restart. And he's got the Ganassi cars and the guy he thought he was his friend, Joe Allen, to contend with. But back here, okay, so it would have been really embarrassing if we cut away from Özkan taking the lead from Joey Trickle, but I guess we can follow this for a moment here. There he goes. He wants it on the inside, down the front stretch. 21 laps to go. Trickle just too slow and sliding too much. Loses the lead to Samet Özkan through turns 1 and 2. Flying down the back straight at Atlanta. Özkan ready to build up that gap between himself and Trickle now. Listen to that engine roar, screaming like an F1 car, frankly. Look at your lap times. Trickle has the fastest lap time, 7 thousandths faster than Özkan. But Özkan has the lead. Both these laps a tenth faster than the Goats, which was achieved very early on in this race. I think, yeah, lap 4. Lap 4, what a bummer. Okay. Stuff's looking good there. Voiles, I think, comfortable with third. Don't think Samaya's gonna want to let him get comfortable. Eli Wolf has 5th, Christian Bracken 6th, Reggie Fogelman 7th, R.U. Taiki 8th, so I guess, yeah. Charlebois got left in the dust. Smith, Spurley, and Taiki fighting for 8th position here. How about the GOAT? How are things looking with the GOAT? He's getting past Jenkins. Ooh! Jenkins and the GOAT bumping into each other through turn three there. That could have been extremely messy, but I think at the end of the day, despite the contact, that was a nice, good, clean 2003 NASCAR pass. Wow. Excellent stuff there. You'll love to see it. Loving to see Gil Samaya making a move on Daniel Voiles. This is for 3rd place. Absolutely shutting the door on that number 8 car there, Samaya, with the better run there. Trickle still behind Samet Özkan, but catching up slowly but surely, not letting Özkan create that gap that he desperately needs. I don't think Özkan has any opportunity to really settle down. Trickle wants to wrestle that lead away from him. He started on pole. Hell, if any man deserves to win this race, it's the pole sitter, right? I mean, is that always true? I don't even think that's always true. You can appreciate the gap between Samaya and Trickle. Riding on board with Samaya. Down the backstretch. Entering the backstretch now, and 2 cars in front. Already through the turns. 3 and 4. Things spacing out a little bit more here. Flobo fighting Footlega for 15th spot here. Goat trying to get past the lapped car. Brittany White, he has his sights on Flobo and Footlega. Montero Salon's getting lapped here. Trickle having possibly a bit of a difficult time getting past compared to Özkan. Again, building up that gap, which Trickle wants to close. Salon possibly going to become a bit of a black eye for Gil Samaya. Definitely a feather in Samet Özkan's cap for now. Yes, those are Catch-22 references. Love that book. Come on. Things looking with the GOAT. I think it's obvious the GOAT has intentions of climbing his way back into the top 10 at least in this race. Showing good pace. I think those tires are wearing out much faster than he would have appreciated. Goat complained as he doesn't have nearly as much grip ever since adding grill tape to the car during the pit stop. And yes, I do blame the grill tape. I put on more grill tape, and I felt like I was having less grip in the turns. I mean, I should have been having lap times comparable to, comparable to that, but no. Look at those. Terrible. Sub 30, but close to 30. Samet Özkan, meanwhile, for 29.6 last lap, and Joey Trickle for 29.4, so Joey Trickle definitely catching up. You know what, I'm going to calm my nerves here and have a nice drink of water. I think every commentator deserves a nice cup of water. Red vermouth on the rocks would be great too, but this'll do. Went through your order once again. Özkan, Trickle, Samaya, Voiles, Wolf. I think Wolf's going to want 4th spot from Voiles. So we'll see how that develops. There he goes. Voiles looking a little bit unsettled through that turn. We don't have time to follow that right now. And who does? Bracken's running 6th. Reggie Fogelman in 7th. Smith's 8th. Spurley's 9th. And Taiki is in 10th. Charbois, Wells, Austin, PK, Footlego, and the GOAT. 10 laps to go for the party people in your life. People in your life. Wait, did Wolf manage to get by? He has not. But it looks like Patrick Smith is getting past Reggie Fogelman. La-di-dum-day, la-di-dum-day. 196 miles an hour before slowing through turn 1 there. Let's compare it to the GOAT when he comes around. Of course, he has to contend with all these cars around him. 193, 194, 194. Those two extra miles per hour making all the difference for the people on the high line. People on the high life. High life? I forget the name of that song. Voiles wants 3rd spot. Wait, we're fighting for 3rd spot. 4th? I don't know. But Wolf definitely wants a piece of this action. That sounded a little bit dirty, but Trickle wants to lead back on lap 76. He's made the move. Can he make it stick? That's the last thing Özkan needed right now, is to lose the lead at this point in the race. Got 6 laps to go. Still time for him to wrestle it back there, but Trickle definitely does not want to give it up. He was your pole sitter after all, and apparently he deserves to win this race by that merit. What I'm saying sounds like something. Sounds like Catch-22 logic, I guess, but, you know, not quite the Catch-22. I mean, you know, social political issues over the past 6 years have led to a lot of comparisons to 1984, but nobody ever brings up Catch-22. There was some good stuff there. I guess people didn't find the Cheeto era all that funny. Same way I found Catch-22 funny. To be fair, my classmates in high school didn't find Catch-22 as funny as I did. I first read it in 7th grade, in class. Not for a class, but just, you know, my, free time reading book, and I had to stop myself from laughing. Also, I sat next to the teacher who, obviously was a very cultured man, like myself, obviously, and I was a 14-year-old. Yeah, I had to keep myself from laughing. Actually, maybe I was only 13, but yeah, I had to keep myself from laughing. And there were some things on the pages sometimes that I didn't want him to see, even though I'm certain that he'd already read the book and he knew what I was getting into as a impressionable 13-year-old. Whatever. Anyways, I read it again in 9th grade for similar reasons. Samet Özkan once again with 3 laps to go, diving to the inside, down the front stretch, through turn 1 here. Trickle keeping a nose in front. Neck and neck, down the back straight. I once again had to keep myself from laughing. Özkan getting in front just slightly. He's made it stick. He's back in the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Özkan back in the lead. I once again had to keep myself from laughing in class, reading the absolutely farcical and absurd things, dialogue especially, that I was witnessing on those pages as an impressionable 15-year-old. I was 15 at that time. Then in English class in 11th grade, we actually had it assigned. I don't believe we finished the whole book. Maybe we did. Probably we were supposed to, certainly. But once again, not only did I find it as funny as ever, but I was also disappointed that my classmates did not find it as funny as I did. I'm pretty sure I've just been repeating myself at this point. I'm like Hikaru Nakamura that way, but more importantly, the white flag was waving there. That might be of some importance to the people involved. Samet Özkan looking good to win this race. Joey Trickle looking good to suffer the shame and disappointment of not winning this race despite starting on pole. Biblical scenes for Simon Özkan, who wins in Atlanta, and I stopped way too short there. Oops. Can the GOAT finish in the top 10? Riley Spurley's in front of him. He's in 10th spot there. No, he can't. And PK gets into him and sends him up into the wall. I think he just barely beat PK to the line, but if he hadn't, then... Oh, okay, now he's just shoved Lyle Austin out of the way, clearly expressing his disappointment with his race today. Almost very briefly, shoving Reggie Fogelman as well. The GOAT clearly not pleased with himself or anyone else, even though if anybody should be displeased, frankly, it's Steve Morgan, the poor guy that you batted into the wall. Wow. Anyways, yeah. Perhaps a bit of an unceremonious end to the race, but we still got everybody filing back in. Adalberto Franco's still on the track here. Not sure what that's about, but as you can see, the GOAT was able to post the fastest time in practice. Joey Trickle and Gil Samaya wrecking the field in qualifying. But Simon Özkan did have third with a pretty representative lap time at the end of... Franco just ran out of fuel, but fortunately his pit stall is right there, so good for him. Okay, that was a bit strange, but anyways, happy hour. Lucas Evans posting the fastest lap, but it's definitely much slower than the ones we were seeing in qualifying, although closer to practice, to be fair. Jenkins as well. Trickle and PK good times. The GOAT, Özkan, Burnett, Voiles, Tanky, and Morgan. Then Samaya, the kind of people you saw up front. I think people were trying to relax themselves a bit before happy hour because they knew that this race is going to be an absolute banger. And here are your results. Simon Özkan wins the race. Joey Trickle has to settle for second. Gil Samaya third, so still a good result for the Jasper Motorsports cars at the end of the day. But they were definitely hoping for that race win. Simon Özkan stealing it from them. Well-deserved stuff there. Eli Wolf finishes 5th behind Daniel Voiles by a 10th of a second. So those guys definitely still, you know, banging and bumping to the finish line there. Probably not. Patrick Smith comes home 6th. Another good result from the number 21 car. Reggie Fogelman 7th. Christian Bracken 8th. Good result from the 19. R.U. Taiki 9th. Remember, he did not finish the last race, so I think he'll be very pleased with himself with that. With the number 10 car in P10, Riley Spurley, the GOAT, unable to break into the top 10 again, and beating Estacio Piquet for 11th by 2 whole thousandths of a second. Well, if these were for positions 1 and 2, that would have been great, but 11 and 12, who cares? Lyle Austin comes home 13th, Mathis Wells 14th, Sabrina Falego 15th, Anthony Charlebois 16th, Bob Falego 17th, Chris Harvey 18th, and the number 18. Again, I love it when these two things coincide. Although Chris Harvey might not be too happy about that. Ashley Schadewald 19th, and Eric Monaco rounding out the top 20 despite being in the top 5 at various points in this race. Leroy Jenkins, Amy Hicks, Reagan Whitlock, Dylan Abrahamian, Mo Zane, Agata Sato, Matthew Burnett, Rocky Johnson, Max Davis, Lucas Evans, Adalberto Franco, and Colin Cropley last year lead lap finishers. Annie Thomas came home a lap down, and despite being a lap down since the first lap of this race, somehow managed to finish ahead of everybody else who was a lap down. Langestein, Jana Fogelman, White, Allen, and Pepper. Montero Salin 2 laps down, and Morgan, of course, got absolutely taken to the cleaners by the GOAT. He's just been released from the infield hospital, and I think that he's about ready to engage in fisticuffs with the GOAT and send both of them back to a hospital. Simon Özkan ekes out a win in Atlanta. Great. Oh, I thought we were going to when are we going to California? Oh. That's what, race 10? Alright, next race, we go to Darlington, a NASCAR tradition, allegedly. Of course, as we all know, this track was very close to being taken off the calendar after 2003, but the infamous finish between Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch pretty much saved the race single-handedly. So, Eli Wolf, your points leader. Simon Özkan up to second after that win today. Mathis Wells in third. Reggie Fogelman fourth. Eric Monaco fifth. The GOAT sixth. Christian Bracken seventh. Stasky PK eighth. Anthony Charlebois ninth. And Aru Taiki 10th. And we got Abrahamian, Johnson, Shonevald, Flobo, Zane, Evans, Lego, Smith, Harvey, Spurley, Samaya, Voiles, Franco Thomas, Jenkins, Austin, Pepper, Cropley, Salin, Hicks, Trickle, Fogelman, Allen, Sato, Burnett, Langestein, Whitlock, and yeah, those guys. Martini, White, Savio, Morgan, Davis, and McGregor. So, Joey Trickle managing to break into the, well, top 40, I guess. Long way to go for both him and Steve Morgan. Steve Morgan could have definitely had a very good result today, but I absolutely took him out. I accept full responsibility, but, you know, that's racing, my friend. So now he has 40 fewer points than Savio, who won a race in his car. Ouch. Max Davis finally managing to beat McGregor in the points. And somehow Brittany White also unable to touch Giacomo Martini's points tally this far in the season. Does any one of you find that the least bit embarrassing? The GOAT didn't lead a lap today, but he still has more laps led than anyone else. Joey Trickle leading quite a few. Simon Özkan fewer, but yeah, taking home the race win today. So that's that stuff there. Take a look real fast at the positions in the points table so far. So yep, that's that after 4 races. Next race, the Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 at Darlington. It's been Hanafuda, it's been a time and a half, and honor. I will see you in the next video. Hopefully I don't crash anybody off. To be fair, that's sort of my trademark. Let's read this message from my mother before we go. I hope you're almost done. I'm tired and you are loud. Good night. That's fair.